Yo, what is up guys? How's it going today? My name is Syratube and today I'm bringing you another episode of Flipping with Syratube. This will be episode 3, a series where I show you guys what I'm flipping every day in old school RuneScape and the flips I use to make as much money as I do. Now today we're working with 291 mil. I'm hoping to get a couple mil today. I'm not exactly sure what's going to go down or what flips are good. I literally just logged on. These will be the first flips of the day for me. And yeah, we're going to see what we can do with our cash stack. Anyway, leave a like if you guys enjoy the video and let's get into it. So I think the plan of attack for today is to do maybe 1 or 2 high margin items at a time and use the rest for high quantity, easy money making items. That way we can kind of balance out our risk a little bit and we can make as much money as possible. This is a strategy I like to use a lot when I flip, doing 1 to 2 higher margin flips and balancing the rest out with safer high quantity flips. I'm going to list a couple things and then I'll get back to you guys. So to start off here, I listed the Amulets of Torture, Amulets of Fury, and Blood Runes. Now, a lot of you might be asking, Syratube, why are you doing Blood Runes? It's only like a 3.6 to 4 mil flip to flip the limit of them, and you're working with like 291 mil. Is it really worth it for you to flip Blood Runes? In my opinion, yes it is. These are basically the 3 items I do every time I log on, including Zolver Scales, but Zolver Scales were not at a really great margin today. So the reason I like to do these is because all of these items usually flip very quick and have decent margins about 90% of the time, so I always make sure to check them and flip them if it looks good. As far as the Amulets of Torture go for today, guys, looks like we're making actually a decent bit on them. Gonna be about 50k per Amulet of Torture we flip, it looks like, and the Amulets of Fury were not as good. Looks like there's only about a 6k margin per on that one, but hey, we're gonna do them anyway just because it's usually a pretty quick flip and pretty safe for us to do. But the Blood Runes were the real killer. Looks like they're buying for 362 and selling for 370. I'm actually a little bit nervous to go in on this just because 370 is a very high price for Blood Runes, so I'm not actually sure if this is gonna work out too well for us, but I thought it was worth the risk, and for the video, why not try it? Real quick, to give you guys another quick update, I listed Sharks, which were actually going for a 3 GP margin, buying for 784, selling for 787, so I'm actually going to list that right here for us. We're going to let that go, and on top of that, I decided to list the Dragon Bolts Unfinished and Diamond Dragon Bolts E. Both of these were looking pretty good. The Diamond Dragon Bolts E were going to net us about 10 GP per. I'm going for a 9 GP margin, putting a little overcut on that to make it come in a little bit quicker. And the Dragon Bolts Unfinished are going to net us 20 GP each. The Dragon Bolts Unfinished will probably take us the whole video if I had to guess, so I might cut back early on that depending on how fast they're coming in, and we're going to work it from there. Anyway, we put our last 2 flips on there, going in to buy some grimy Renar weed. Now, this actually had a very good margin today. I try to flip it on live streams a lot, but I can never tend to find a very good margin on live streams for it for whatever reason. But today, it looks like we're going to get about 20 GP per grimy Renar weed, which is quite good considering how it's been pretty recently here. On top of that, we went ahead and tried the Archer's Ring, which looks like they're going to net us about 10k per Archer Ring, which I'm not gonna lie, is not fantastic. Anytime I try to flip the Archer's Ring or the Berserker Ring, I'm looking for anything over 10k, but usually I'm kind of skewing it towards over 15k, because, I mean, these flip pretty quick and pretty easily, the Archer's Rings and the Berserker Rings, but, I really don't do it unless I'm gonna get 15k most of the time. But today, for the video, we're gonna flip it anyway and get the nice safe profits that it should guarantee us. And there it is, guys, the first 2 flips that we've completed today. The Blood Runes selling for 370 each. Very nice profit considering how fast that went. Looks like we made about 80k total on that. Very excited about that. I'm glad we did the Blood Runes in the end. On top of it, guys, we sold off all the Amulets of Torture, which actually sold very fast compared to what I was expecting. So it looks like we made about, wow, 400k on those. Very excited about that. Very happy we hit that margin. So the next two that I wanted to put up were the crossbow and the dragon crossbow. The crossbow is actually going to be a little bit riskier, and the margin's quite nice though, so I'm hoping we can hit that at least maybe for 2 or 3 crossbows. I'm going to go and try to get 4 and try to sell them off, but we're going to see what happens. The dragon crossbow I flipped a lot, and it's a lot safer, and the margin right now on those is looking very good. The nice thing about the dragon crossbow is the limit is 70 every 4 hours, so you can flip a lot of them. They're very similar to the necklace of anguish flip, and they're very competitive to flip as well. The margins move a lot on them, but not by a lot, so you have to be very up to date kind of when you're flipping these, and you just need to keep a good eye on it. But since we're going to get 15k per dragon crossbow, this is going to be a very nice margin for us. And we got our first crossbow in as well. Excited to see that. And it looks like we're actually able to get all the crossbows in, so we're trying to sell them now. We've already got one sold, so I'm very excited about that. That is going to be a major profit flip if we're able to get all of the crossbows off. That being said, I might go in if we can sell them all and try to get 3 more, just so we can hit the limit. On top of that, all of the dragon crossbows are almost finished. We're going to give that a little bit longer, and the dragon bolts and diamond dragon bolts E are making good progress, and the grimy renarweed as well. Probably going to cut back on the archer's rings and maybe cut the shark down a couple GP. I'm not entirely sure. It hasn't been that long for those two, but at the same time, like, if they're not buying and they're not selling already, I'm going to be a little bit concerned about it, so we might have to maintenance those and put something else up, or just knock the price down or up, depending on what item we're going to talk about. So I decided to move some items around a bit. We cut back on the archer's rings. None were buying, so I just decided to give up on it. We knocked the sharks down 1 GP, and they're still not selling, so we'll have to keep a close eye on those. As far as the dragon crossbows go, we didn't finish the limit on those, so we decided to actually stop at 8, and we're going to turn around and try to sell this. We literally just listed that, so we'll give that a minute. We put Guthan's armor sets in as well, making about, I think, like 12k per Guthan's armor set we can flip, so that is very satisfactory. Definitely worthwhile and worth our time to try that out. On top of it, guys, this is a flip I have never ever done in old school RuneScape or RuneScape at all in general, and that is the Onyx Dragon Bolt E. Now, I've never done this, but it just came to mind, and the margin looked pretty good. I would assume that we're going to have some trouble trying to sell this if we do get a couple, so I decided to only list 3,000 and see how it goes. I'm not going to let that sit for too long, but we'll see if we can get any. If we don't succeed on that, we're going to try to flip the Onyx Bolt Tips instead. I think those will have a little bit more demand. And boom, all the dragon crossbows and the crossbows sold. Nice profits coming in, although on the dragon crossbow we did have to knock down the margin a little bit, but we still made a very good profit on those as well. Very excited to see how much we made from both of that. And it looks like we made so far about 350k on the crossbows. Yeah, that looks about right. And as far as the dragon crossbows go, oh my goodness, dragon crossbows go, it looks like we made about 130k, maybe a little bit more, so very good to see. And I'm going to try my luck again, try to get a couple more dragon crossbows and 3 more crossbows, try to buy some and get them sold. Things are starting to move a little bit slower, I'm not going to lie. The Dragon Bolts Unfinished are actually still buying. We haven't sold any of the Diamond Dragon Bolts E yet, but we're keeping a close eye on it. The Grimy Renarweed has slowed down a lot, but some are still coming in every so often, and we've already got another Dragon Crossbow coming in. Good to see, and we haven't gotten any of the Onyx Dragon Bolts E yet, so we might switch that over to the Dragon Bolt Tips. Not entirely sure yet. So I decided to list the Onyx Bolt Tips just like I mentioned previously, and I don't actually know if this is a really good flip or not. I don't think I've ever done Onyx Bolt Tips, but a couple people have told me they've had success with them, so I'm going to try them out. The nice thing about flipping Onyx Bolt Tips is they're a very high quantity item that also holds a very high price value. Costs about 8.2k per Onyx Bolt Tip, which is quite expensive. So usually when this is the case, margins are pretty large, and that does tend to be the case for these. Looks like I think we're going to get about 80 GP per the Onyx Bolt Tips that come in, so that is very awesome. And we've already got some Dragon Crossbows coming in as well, and the Guthan's armor sets are almost finished, so we're just going to hang tight and maintenance these flips here. So guys, I'm actually a little bit nervous. All of the crossbows bought at once, so there's two things that could have happened. Either one, the margin could have crashed, which obviously would not be very ideal for us, and would actually be very bad. So that could be the case, and that would be very, very negative because we're going to lose money. We're going to have to sell for a lower price. Or we could have gotten lucky and someone else who was having trouble trying to sell their crossbows might have dumped theirs and we would have picked them up and we can return it for a nice sale price here. But we're going to have to see. I'm going to list these, let them sit for a while. I'll keep you guys in the loop. And yeah, just pray for Syratube right now. And giving you guys an update here. Been about maybe 5-6 minutes since our last clip, and things are starting to move a little bit more than they were. We were able to sell all the Dragon Bolts unfinished, although we did have to take a margin reduction on that, but it wasn't a big deal since we still made 13 GP per, and we were able to net like 170k in total from that flip. So very, very nice flip considering how safe that was for us. It didn't go super fast, but it wasn't actually that slow either. A little bit concerned about these Diamond Dragon Balls E, but we're going to let them sit. I do think they will sell since that was the original margin I checked for. They were selling for 1,660. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll be okay on those. And as far as everything else goes, I'm going to leave it for maybe another 5 minutes or so. Then I'm going to maintenance everything and we'll let it sit a little bit longer after that. So it's been about another 5 minutes and we haven't had a ton of activity since our last update, although we did sell one of the crossbows, which is fantastic. I'm going to cut back and start selling on a lot of these flips that I have, as long as it's a buy offer. As long as the sell offers go, or as far as the sell offers go, I'm going to cut back on the Diamond Dragon Bolts E a little bit, drop the margin down maybe 2 GP. I'm going to list everything. I've got a couple errands to run in real life, so I'm going to list some things, let them sit while I go do my errands, and come back and hopefully we have some good profits. Now, a tip for you guys, if you are leaving the game and you have some flips that are setting, and basically what you're going to want to do is every time you leave your computer and log off for at least 20 minutes or more, make sure that every offer in the Grand Exchange is a sell offer. Don't leave any buy offers in because you want to come back to making money and not necessarily trying to invest in something that your hope is going to flip it. It's not really a good idea because you could forget about the item if you happen to get caught up in something in real life, and you just want to basically list sell offers because if something doesn't sell, it's not as bad as if something buys and you go to sell it for less. You rather list sell offers and just wait and hope they sell than to try to flip buy offers in that time frame. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but it is a way safer method to do that, and you'll save a lot of money and hassle doing that. Trust me, I've tried buying and putting buy offers in that time frame, and almost every time I do it during the day, I get completely destroyed and roasted, and I lose my hard-earned GP. So just listen to me and try not to do that. And guys, we are back. It has been about an hour and 30 minutes about. It took a little bit longer to complete my errands than I thought, but as you can see, everything has sold. We had to cut back on a few of the listings before we left, but I wanted to make sure that we did that just to make sure we could sell everything off. The only thing that didn't sell was the Onyx bolt tips, so I'm going to put a listing in here, try to recheck the price, and hopefully we can still make some profit on it. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll let you guys know how long that takes to sell. And it finally sold, but not after I knocked down the margin a ton on the Onyx Bolt tips. We still made a profit on each one, but we made significantly less than I expected to. Either way, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and collect the money here and see how much we actually got. As soon as I grab my cash check from my bank, it should be a very fair amount, and we'll see where we're at for now. And yeah, we're up to 293 mil, 293.4 mil, so we're doing very, very good so far. So now guys, we're going to check the Armadillo God Sword, the Bandos God Sword, basically all the God Swords, see if we can get a good margin on any of them. I like to flip all of the God Swords every so often because I find that during certain times, kind of every couple weeks or so often, you can get really, really solid margins on the God Swords, so I'm going to go ahead and check them right now. The only one that really seems to be worth our time is the Bandos God Sword. It's going for about a 25k margin or so, or it looks like about 20k margin. And I did do the Sar Swords, or the Saradomin God Swords as well, but They're not really amazing considering how much money we're putting down for each flip. The margin's not really that great, but I'm just going to try to flip a few anyway to make up for some of the margin checking we've done so far. And besides that, I think the next item I'm going to go ahead and check is probably the Eternal Boots and the Primordial Boots. We'll see if we can flip a few of those, make some good profits on those. And if we can, we'll likely do the Pegasians as well. But if not, we'll find something else to flip. We were able to actually buy the Bandos God Swords already, which went pretty fast, but the surprising thing that we've got going is the Dragon Claws. Now, I usually have a pretty hard time flipping Dragon Claws, but the margin is almost 100k. Looks like it's about 80k on the claws right now. I thought it was worth it since I can't really find much other good stuff that is a high margin flip. We tried looking at the Primordial Boots and the Eternal Boots, but it's just really not working out for us. So I'm going to try my luck at some Dragon Claws and see if we can get lucky flipping a few of those. So guys, I just actually found an insane margin that looks like it's going to be a little bit risky, but I'm going to try it anyway just for the video in case we can get it. And that is going to be the Ring of Suffering margin. I cut back on the Syratube and God Swords because they weren't really buying, so I decided to give up. But then I found a 400k margin on the Ring of Suffering. Now, I'm very, very skeptical about this margin. I don't actually think we're going to be able to buy them and sell them. We're going to try though, because if we can, that's going to be a huge flip. So we're going to be patient. We're going to let it sit for a while and see if we can flip this. We were able to actually flip some of the Dragon Claws so far. We sold one of them, so we're waiting for the second one to sell. And this is our second round of buying 2 Bandos God Swords, and we're selling them off now. So very, very good profits coming in right now. Things are pretty solid. Not a ton of risk on the table, but these Rings of Suffering are going to be very difficult. We also went ahead and listed the Renard potions. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but they're going to net us about 30 GP each if we're able to flip those. We were actually able to get 3 Rings of Suffering pretty fast, and I just relisted the Bandos God Swords as well, but I'm actually going to cut back on these Rings of Suffering just to see if we can get them off for the 15 mil sell price that we were seeing before, because if we can, that's going to be a huge flip, guys. So let's go ahead, we'll try to get that in here. Oh my goodness, legit boys, that sold so fast, like I'm not even kidding, within 2 minutes, and that is just some serious bank flip right there. That's about 1.1 mil that we made just from that flip so far. I'm gonna try to get a few more Rings of Suffering, but I'm actually not too confident we're gonna be able to get any more, but it's gonna be totally worth it if we can, so I'm going in to get 3 more. We haven't got any Rings of... Well, we just got 1 Ring of Suffering. Okay, so that's looking fantastic to make a little bit more money off of that. On top of that, we haven't sold the second Dragon Claw yet. I'm going to leave it for a little bit longer, and we're going to see what we can do from there. We might have to knock down the margin a little bit on that. Besides that, I listed some of the heavy ballistas. They're making us 9k each, which really isn't that good. Worth flipping? I would say maybe. I'm going to flip it just because I can't really find a lot of decent items right now, so I'm going to put that in. Hopefully we can flip a couple of those, but the Carol's leather top is actually looking pretty good right now. I decided to recheck it, and it looks like we're making about 13k per Carol's leather top, and the limit is 15 every 4 hours, so we're going to see if we can get 14 of them and sell those off. Anyway, with the 24 mil we're working with, I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but I think we're going to do a potion flip. We decided to go with the super restores, and I just decided to list some death runes as well, just because we had about the right amount of cash to work with and throw towards death runes, only making us 2 GP per death rune, but still, either way, thought we might as well fill up the slots. And the super restores are actually pretty good margin. Looks like we're going to make, what, about 35 GP margins on those? Maybe a little bit more. I don't know if I calculated that exactly right, but it looks decent. Oh my god, boys, you're not gonna believe this. I went to go sell the 1 Ring of Suffering because I'm afraid the margin is gonna collapse soon, and look what happened. It sold instantly for 15.325 million coins. That is insane. This flip right now is crazy. Now that means we're not going to be able to get any of the rest of the Rings of Suffering, so that's completely fine. We made bank off of those in total. Like, holy cow, that's maybe 1.5 mil in total from flipping 4 Rings of Suffering. That is absolutely insane. I'm so happy I was able to get that on video for you guys and show you the potential of some of these items. Seriously, sometimes if you're just timing it right and you just get a little bit of luck, you can get some serious bank flips. I'm so happy we got that on video, and I'm so happy to lock that in my cash stack. Anyway, I'm kind of just waiting for these other flips to go through. We've got about 113 mil to work with. I think I'm going to list some of the Armadillo pieces, maybe the Armadillo chestplate or the chain skirt, depending on which one has a better margin. If those aren't looking too good, I'm going to check out the Ancestral gear. Now, Ancestral gear is kind of a funky flip, but it might be worthwhile as long as the margins look good. It flips pretty slowly, but can make very big profits as well. So we're going to check those items out, see if we can have any luck with those. Now, all of our items seem to be moving smoothly. We've got all of the Armadillo chest plates in, so I'm going to turn around and sell those. The margin is not that great, but like at the same time, I think it was kind of worth flipping just because the margin cost is so high to check, and you know, you might as well flip them. I'm going to try the Armadillo chain skirts after these Armadillo chest plates sell. We are also able to get the dragon claws off now. They did take a while, and we did lose out on the second pair a fair bit, but we still made money. We made about, looks like 60k, I think, 50 or 60k on the second pair of Dragon Claws, so not amazing, but not bad. I'm going to be wrapping up the flipping session soon, though, so I'm not going to list a ton more, and then we'll get back to you guys and show you the profits. And everything managed to sell. We basically made no money on those Armadillo chain skirts. We made, I think, like 4k, so we really didn't make any profit there. And I just wanted to get them off as fast as possible because I wanted to wrap up the video here before I went off to bed. But we're going to collect everything and see all the profits that we've made during this session. And there we go, guys, all finished up, and we made about 4.3 million GP in about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours of flipping. I did leave some stuff to sell in the middle. That maybe went for an hour in between, which I did not count as flipping time. But overall, in this time frame, we made 4.3 million, and that was absolutely insane. Those Rings of Suffering really helped into our final profit. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about that Ring of Suffering flip. That was absolutely insane. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.